What's up, YouTube? Yesterday we spent the whole day testing almost every single build in the game, trying to find the best day 1 Catacombs Andy farmer. We found some cool builds doing this, and I'm excited to show you the results. I'll be showing you two separate tier lists for Catacomb farming and Andy killing. All this testing was done with day 1 gear, meaning stuff you'd get after your group playthrough and doing a couple of hell cow runs. Let me show you what we were using. So here's a quick rundown of the gear I used. I used a tele staff, of course. I used some pretty budget rune words, From runes you can get in a few hell cow runs and a few crafts. Like we got lucky on some cool crafts here. Obedience, like Valrune, Melody, Harmony. Peace for Amazon was mandatory. Some random rare jabs. Use a 6 shell phase blade for Fireclaw Druid. Pretty effective. Some Honor Colossus Sword for Barb. Some random stuff that's pretty easy to get. For Caster we went with Spirit, Lore, 10 FCR, 10 FCR, 10 FCR, 10 FCR, 10 FCR everywhere. And some Rite of Passage boots for the CBF. For melee we went with Angelic Amian Ring and some random AR ring. And then I had a Life and All-Res Ami as well that I was using. And like half an inventory of res charms. So I used the Act 3 Mercenary for all of this testing. He used an Insight War Scepter, 10 FCR gloves, random FHR belt, faster unlock boots, Rhyme Shield, stealth, and a lore. I was using cold, fire, and lightning depending on the build. But overall this merc does so much damage that you'd rather start with that until you can gear an Act 2 or an Act 5 merc or even an Act 1 merc. So here are the tier lists. Let's start with Catacomb farming. First, I should say this is my opinion and probably not the closest to the absolute truth, but it should be close enough to give you a good idea of what's strong and what's trash. Necro summons are super good and super safe. Few combinations are viable, but my favorite has got to be the Fire Golems with mages and lower res to make the Act 3 merc even more OP. Bone Necro is also pretty good in Catacombs since magic damage wrecks in there. Whirlwind Barb is surprisingly awesome early on with the Honor Woundward. Both dual wield and two-handed are viable, but dual wield and Frenzy will surely outperform two-handed. Warcry Barb also performed quite well in Catacombs. Light Sentry Traps are a lot of fun and are really good in the Catacombs. You'll need to wait for your Light Merc static to kill lightning immunes though. If you don't want to worry about immunities, Phoenix Strike is super viable starter due to its tri-elemental damage. As an Amazon, I would always max Valkyrie regardless of the build I'm starting with. These strong independent women will carry you through most content. So consider this tier list without max Valk as it would make every build A tier. My favorite was definitely the two-handed Spears on for Catacombs farming. There's just nothing better than Holy Bolt Fist of Heavens for Pally. Not only do you do insane lightning and magic damage, but your Conviction Aura plus your Light Merc static field is ridiculous. So far this is going to be my starter for an easy transition into Uber Smiter when I get some gear. Windy Druid and Summon Druid were destroying Catacombs. Summon is the more passive playstyle but is so strong and safe. Wind Druid is tons of fun and very strong as well. Honorable mention to Volcano Druid who doesn't give two shits about fire immunes. As you could expect, Sork is a monster for Catacombs farming. Combined with the Act 3 merc of a different element, or Light merc for Light Sork, you're pretty much the best Catacomb farmer. Of course Teleport makes it faster to get from pack to pack and overall makes the farming much more efficient. Adding a Telestaff to all the non-Sork characters definitely helps though. And now for the Andy kill. So this is not taking the Catacomb farming in consideration, only the Andy kill. Summon Necro melts her and is very safe. All Fizz with Blood Golem, Skelly Warriors, and Archers is a bit slower though. Bone Spirit chunks are pretty hard too. Whirlwind Barb is the only barb that can kill her fast enough to be worth it. As you get more survivability, Frenzy and Leap will become better at it though. Fire Traps and Light Sentry Traps are good at killing Andy. It's pretty easy to just run around until traps kill her. Valkyries make Andy so easy to kill as is on. But the best of the best Andy killers, surprisingly, is the Fire Boson. Immolation, arrow melts her in 2 or 3 arrows, as you could see at the beginning of the video. Pretty amazing. Holy Bolt and Fist of Heavens is very strong and safe for Andy as well. If you want to face tank her and smite her to death, you'll need a little bit more survivability though. Summon Druid is the safest and one of the fastest for Andy. You just stomp her with your Zoo and she dies in seconds. Fireclaw is very good too, alongside the other fire builds, and even Wind Druid did well. And as expected, Sork will be the best Andy farmer. Fire in particular, get an Act 3 Cold Merc to get rid of the Fallens and zombies in the way and just scorch her to death with your favorite fire skill. So let me know what you guys think about these tier lists in the comment. It's now time to go test and see which build is the best day 1 cow farmer. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one.